Hi guys, when we look at the makeup of the House of Commons, we have left-wing parties like the Greens, we have centre-left parties like Labour, we have centrist parties like the Liberal Democrats, we have the centre-right like the Conservatives, and the radical right like Reform. We will certainly disagree on how to label MPs within those parties, but I think this is a good rule of thumb. Jim Shannon is the DUP's MP for Strangford, and I've mentioned before that he's probably one of the kinder members, as he's polite and comes across as somebody who is certainly more moderate, in tone at least, than anyone else in his party. However, Jim made two frankly absurd statements in Parliament the other day, one involving himself and another involving members of Reform UK.
So public trust in the BBC has eroded, and I have to say this, it's no longer the broadcaster it once heralded to be. Now, my politics, as the members on that side will know, my politics lies to the left. Probably a fair bit to the left, I suspect, but it doesn't take away from where I am. So I asked this question, and I'd say the Honourable Member of Clacton faced a hostile audience on Question Time. Or Dame Andrea Jenkyns, a former Conservative MP, was booed before she had even opened her mouth, and have I got news for you? My goodness. That is not organic debate, it's a bias in practice. The BBC, Honourable Gentleman referred to it, I'm going to quote him, the BBC selects its audiences, sets the tone, consistently marginalises voices on the right of politics. I'm not in the right of politics, I never will be, but I make that point to have it right on record for those who have a different opinion. I respect other people's opinion, by the way, even though I may not agree with it, because that's the person I am, and I hope others are the same.
Okay, for people who don't know, the DUP, how could we describe the DUP? So Jim, of course, is a member of the DUP. The DUP, there are members of the DUP who don't believe in climate change. There are members of the DUP who think that the Earth is between 6,000 and 10,000 years old because they apply the Bible to science. They don't accept science, they accept the Bible. Ask them about abortion. You probably don't want to know their opinions about abortion. So this is, I can only describe as a radical right or far right party. Now, are there people within the party who are a little bit more moderate? Yes, including Jim Shannon here. But you could never describe the DUP as on the left, or anyone within the DUP as on the left. On the left of what? On the left of whom? So this is a bit of an absurd statement. Once again, Jim Allister is probably one of the nicer people within the DUP, but the party as a whole is to the right of politics. They would be perhaps even to the right of Reform UK in some ways. Now, the other point he made here, that Andrea Jenkyns was booed when she went on a comedy show. Well, you'd have to ask the question, why was Andrea Jenkyns booed when she went on a comedy show? And why did Nigel Farage, the compulsive pathological liar, the guy who sold people a con, why do you think he received a hostile environment when he went on Question Time? Marginalised. Nigel Farage has been on Question Time, it seems, more than anyone else. He has a season ticket for Question Time. He actually ridiculed the BBC, and then he said he would never go on it again, and then he was invited on Question Time, I believe, sometime after, and he went, yeah, okay, I'll go back on Question Time. So this is a guy who's hypocritical, who's a liar, who's a charlatan, who's a con man, and of course, as people realise that, they're going to have a hostile approach to him. That's his fault. You can't blame the audience if they turn on people like Nigel Farage, somebody who has lied to them constantly. And, Andrea Jenkyns, somebody who was treating the public with nothing but contempt when she was a Tory MP. Well, obviously people are going to boo her when she goes on a show, because that's the type of politics that she's engaged in, that she has embraced. Jim, I think, needs to retire. He doesn't understand what the hell is going on. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.